Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Lando from the Snap coming at you with a keeper video. This video that's going to help you decide on what players to keep going into this fantasy football season. So like this video and comment down below what keepers you are deciding between, because we answer every single question. So if you have 1, 2, 3, even 4 keepers you're deciding between, let me know in the comments and I'll help you try and figure it out. So a couple things. Make sure you tell me which players you're deciding on, and if there's a round penalty, whether it's auction or money value that you're keeping this guy at, or which round penalty is it going to be that you are going to be assessed going into the season. If there's no round keepers, let me know that as well. If you could just keep any 2 players, no cost, let me know, because that makes a difference. Also, standard, half point per reception, full point per reception, or super flex league, let me know. I'm going to go over some categories in this video to figure out what categories and what factors come into account when deciding your keepers. I'll go also over some popular keeper options going into this year. Probably some good keepers maybe that you have on your team right now. So hopefully you like this video. Comment and sub to the channel because we very much appreciate it. And make sure to stay tuned to the Snap this year. It's going to be a fun year, guys. All right, can't wait. So breakouts. I mean, every year there's breakout wide receivers, running backs, etc. And you might have those options to keep. I'm talking about Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp, Mike Williams, Michael Pittman is being drafted and ranked really high. Those keepers this year are probably going to be some that you're deciding between. So last year, Deebo Samuel was a 5th round pick or so, 5th or 6th round pick, and you might get to keep him for a 4th, 5th this year. I'm absolutely keeping Deebo Samuel. Similar to Cooper Kupp, he was around a 4th round pick this year. Even at a 2nd round pick, I still believe he is a value going into this year. He's pretty much ranked on all fantasy platforms as the wide receiver 1 going into this year. So even though it's not a super big value like a 20th round keeper, I still think that these high-end assets are very good to have. So that's rule number 1. If you do have an elite player on your team and it might not be the best value, I still think keeping that player is a good option. That includes a guy like Michael Pittman for a 7th and Mike Williams for a 6th, depending on your league settings. Also, injured players. Keep in mind going into the season what players are injured. Last year we had J.K. Dobbins and Cam Akers. They were drafted in keeper leagues around the 12th round. Maybe they weren't drafted at all, and you pick them up because you're a smart fantasy player. So if you can keep those players at a 15th, 16th, 20th round keeper, absolutely do that, especially if they're running backs, because that provides you a positional scarcity, a position that people are trying to get on your team for a super late draft pick. So keep in mind, as long as you can afford it this year, keep an eye out for injured players in your draft that you can keep for next year at a really good value. Hopefully you have Dobbins or Akers on your team. Next, I'm talking about rookies. So last year we had Javonte Williams, who was going pretty high, around the 6th round, even Kyle Pitts, maybe in the 5th round last year. I would keep Javonte Williams for a 4th or even 3rd round pick this year. He is probably going in your drafts this year around a 2nd round pick. If you're expecting him to have a 50 to 60% market share in that Denver offense with Russell Wilson at the helm, I love Javonte Williams this season. And then you also have Travis Etienne. He was injured last year. He falls under that other category of injured players. Maybe you got him for really cheap. Maybe if you're in a keeper league, maybe it was in the teens rounds. I love Travis Etienne this year. I'm absolutely keeping Travis Etienne. This year, we've got some, last year we had some breakout wide receivers like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Gabe Davis, who were late round picks, and this year they're really good value. So maybe you have Amon-Ra for a 20th round pick, keep that. Gabe Davis again for a 15th, 16th, keep him as well. Going into this year, I really like Treylon Burks and Drake London, but they're going pretty high. So be careful, because usually rookie wide receivers don't perform year 1. So as long as you can afford to take these guys, maybe you've got some really good keepers and you're in the mid-teens and you're looking at Treylon Burks, Sky Moore, maybe Christian Watson. Wait a few rounds. Wait till the end of your draft and take a Sky Moore. I think, and Christian Watson, they might not be getting a lot of hype in the draft season. Those are a couple targets I really like going into next year. So you get to keep staying young and get really good keepers. And they both have opportunities in these offenses to break out and really increase their value. Finally, we got to talk about onesie positions like quarterbacks and tight ends, where you really only need to start one guy. So Lance, Hurts, Burrow, those guys could be keepers this year, but there's an abundance of them. So if you have Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow for a super late round keeper, I'm talking 18th round, absolutely keep them. Maybe even consider Jalen Hurts because a lot of people are projecting him to be really good for a 12th, 10th round pick. In that position, I will be taking those players and keeping them even if you only have to start one. Finally, the tight end position. You probably got Andrews last year for a 4th, 5th, maybe 6th round pick, and I would be keeping him because you get a positional advantage this year, having Mark Andrews potentially being the tight end 1 this year, if not tight end 2 behind Kelsey, to keep this year, and you have that positional advantage right from the get-go and get Andrews at a steal of a deal. All right, guys, that's everything. But comment down below if you have questions about your keepers, how to join a keeper league, join our Discord community as well, sub to the channel, and make sure to stay tuned for the Snap all season long. We'll be putting out content to help you win your fantasy leagues. Thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you next time.